Hi everyone, welcome to another Master Pairings. Today I have John Holzer.
Hi.
And we're going to try some couple great beers and some really good food.
I've never had these beers,
Okay.
so this is going to be cool.
French Bier de Garde. It's a farmhouse ale. Basically, Belgium and France have borders, and on the Belgium side, they have what are called Saisons, or seasonal ales, farmhouse ales. And on the French side, they have beers that they call Bier de Gardes. Both have a light spice background. These are more malty compared to the Saisons usually, which are a little crisper, cleaner, a little more peppery notes. So I have a French Country Ale, St. Armande. It's a 5.5% country ale. And I also have an American version by our own Tommy Arthur at the Lost Abbey, his Avant Garde ale. And of course, because it's made in America, it's 7% alcohol, so it's a little bit higher.
Go big or go home.
First let's, I'll let you open that. Be careful. It's been out a little bit. It's at cellar temperature, so it may be slightly explosive or it may not. And I'll open this and pour those, and then we'll switch a glass. Yeah.
All right, cool.
And that way we can try them both at the same time with the food.
All right. Oh!
Yeah, that's what I meant by explosive.
Dude.
So what you normally want to do when you open anything, whether
I barely touched it, I swear to God.
Yeah, that's why. That's kind of the connotations of we're live. So when you want to open a cork, whether champagne or a beer, you gently rotate the bottle, holding the cork still, letting it extrude slightly from the neck of the beer until you release just a little bit of gas like that, and you minimize the amount of carbonation loss. Okay? So whenever you're ready to pour that monster, feel free to.
I'm doing the same thing he did with the cork with my
thumb.
thumb.
Sorry, I should have warned you. But there you go.
We are good on this now.
Perfect.
Although most of it's on my hand.
Okay. So I'm going to give you one of these. I'm going to take one of those.
All right.
And we are set. So let's try the traditional ale first.
The traditional, right there.
Yes. So it's an Ambry.
Cheers.
Nice red colors. Kind of burnt sienna. Kind of burnt sienna color.
Yeah.
Spicy notes.
It smells really
Really
good.
interesting.
It smells very traditional.
Yes. The French ales are not as well received as the Belgian ales because they don't have as much of the funky characteristics, but there are many great Bier de Gardes out there, and they have a fabulous flavor profile, and they go great with food.
This tastes great.
I'm also going to try Tommy's version right now. This has a different nose.
Yeah, it's almost a little more spicy.
That has more winter spices. This is closer to Saison. It's got that spice profile. Now I will say French Bier de Gardes come in Ambries, and they come in golden colors, or kind of a blonde. So this is more of a blonde Bier de Garde style. It still has that big, huge malt flavor. Really good, real characteristic. So today I have some special treats for us. Beautiful rosemary roasted chicken, fingerling potatoes, and my good friend John Calabrese brought some of his estate rosemary. So they're just to accent it, and I cooked a little with it. So let me cut you off a little piece of this roasted chicken. There you go. You can just attack that piece.
Thank you.
I'm going in the same way.
I'm going to start with the traditional first.
Okay.
That's perfect. I like that a lot.
It brings out a little more of the sweetness in this.
Yeah.
But it really plays up the chicken really well.
That's good. Now for the Tommy Arthur.
Oh, yeah. Let's see how Tommy's beer holds up with it. Wow, really brings out the maltiness, but much subtler because of the degree of SRM, or basically, which is a scale for color. So the malts are not quite as roasted, so they're a little lighter in color. And the spices play really well.
I get more of that Saison characteristic with the chicken too.
I can see that. It's more of a blonde.
Really good.
Don't be afraid when you're pouring craft beer for pouring down the middle and getting a nice head on your beer.
I fear no head.
It definitely cuts through and refreshes your palate. So let's jump into this risotto.
Boom.
This is a little mushroom herb risotto, and I have some 14-month aged Parmesan.
Okay.
Excuse me, aged Parmesan that I actually shredded over it.
Looks really good. That is good.
Nice, creamy, just delicious. Wow. Once again, it brings out a lot of those nice floral, flowery notes.
Yeah. I get a lot of sweetness off of it too.
Yep. You got a little salinity from the Parmesan, and then the umami effect from the mushrooms, and the risotto, that kind of unctuous mouthfeel that's just like satiating.
Try it with the Tommy beer.
Now see, this is even though it's a starch also, just like the potatoes, I'm not getting that bitterness that I did with the potatoes and the rosemary and the oil. I'm getting this more mellow, this really nice, well-balanced characteristic coming from it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. But I do think it definitely it's sweeter with the risotto. That's the traditional beer.
Yeah, the Ambre Brie plays really nice. And then on top of that, we got a little cheese. Now, Triple Creme Brie I have is fabulous. It goes great with so many different beers.
That cheese is like oozing. That's
Yes.
crazy.
Well, this is Camembert, and Camembert is another bloomy rind cheese, just like Brie's, for example, but it's runny and it has that. The French have a term for a cheese that's like this, which is much more intense, and they call it the feet of God.
Ah.
And so you kind of get where I'm going. It's kind of this runny, unctuous. I recommend you taste the Brie first.
Okay.
Because it's much more subtle, and you may lose a lot of the characteristics if you have the Camembert first. Ooh. I really like the way it not only brings out more of the sweetness and floral notes in this, but it still keeps the whole balance of the cheese.
Oh.
And plays really well.
That's really good with this.
Yeah, it is.
I like that a lot. Try it with Tommy's.
Tommy's beer is no slouch with this either. It's just slightly different. It's not as sweet, but it has really great characteristics.
Yeah. They both blend very well with that cheese. This is perfect cheese for both these.
Now we're talking bad boy.
That cheese scares me.
That's what I wanted to hear.
I don't know how to approach this. It's like melted, but it's not. Oh.
What's the matter, John?
You have to let it sit in your mouth for a little while, and then all of a sudden you get this like really the feet of God taste from it. You know what I mean? It's like
you walk in, you're sitting on
What's
a
that
couch,
taste?
and you're sitting on a couch, right? And
sitting on a couch.
you're at your buddy's house, and all of a sudden you start smelling something, and you reach in the cushions, and you find those old gym socks that have been sitting there.
That
just appears, and it's got this really funky,
It's pungent.
pungent,
Ooh.
barnyardy flavor, but a lot of people love it. I love flavors.
I'm not
like
saying
this.
it's bad. It's just I didn't.
This is
expect
great with
that.
Bier de Garde, a Saison, a triple really cuts through that. And
As far as with this, the cheese is still. It's in my nose. Like that's how stinky and pungent it is.
oh, I think, well, because I'm not as salted as you are by the Camembert, I think the beer brings out nice roasted malts and nice flavors. And then Tommy's beer, wow, it's really vibrant with it. I think Tommy's beer really matches the intensity of it.
It does.
I think it comes out really nicely.
It's complemented a lot more with Tommy's beer. than
It
the
plays really
traditional.
well, and I don't. It's not as assaultive, and it really subdues the Camembert.
That's a very
And yeah.
interesting cheese, though, for someone that's never had it.
Yeah, this is a classic. There's a lot of really funky cheeses that have come out of artisanal places now that far exceed this, believe it or not.
Really?
But historically, 25 years ago, everybody go Camembert, ooh, plug your nose kind of thing. you know. But now this has been far surpassed by some other funky cheeses that I can bring on one of my future episodes. I'll make sure you're my guest.
I will definitely try it because that by far is the most interesting cheese I've ever had.
Awesome.
So,
all right, John, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, for watching another Master Pairings.